Think about the last movie you watched. I bet you never noticed how different camera angles can have an emotional effect on you. As a filmmaker, you have the power to angle your camera on your subject and subconsciously relay a message to your audience. Today, we'll talk about those angles and how to use your camera in a non-scripted video such as weddings or family. Hey, I'm Jen. I'm a family filmmaker and photographer, and I am here to teach you about how to add video to your already established photography business. This video is part 4 in my storytelling for non-scripted video series, so be sure to go back and watch this entire playlist. In this video, I'll go over how what you've learned so far translates to different types of clips to ensure that you can tell a story. I'm talking about camera angles. So far in this Storytelling for Videographers series, you've learned that it's important to get wide, medium, close-up, and B-roll footage, and how to sequence it to help you tell an effective and compelling story. You've learned about the elements of basic storytelling and how to structure a video so that it captivates your audience. Next, we're going to discuss how to work the camera's angles to really hit home your theme. Camera angles and how you choose to sequence them in your edit all determine the emotion present in your film. They can have a psychological effect that portrays an emotion to an audience without the audience even knowing it. Let's start by defining some camera angles that are commonly used in filmmaking. High angle. This is when the camera is placed above the subject and angled down. The subject is in a vulnerable position. Low angle. This is when the camera is placed below the subject and pointed up. It gives the subject a feeling of power, like they're in a position of power. When you place the camera eye level, there's not a whole lot of psychological impact, but point of view is when your camera sees what the subject sees. This works best first to show the subject and what they're doing, and then to show what they see. Bird's eye is when the camera is placed overhead looking at the scene, and it helps establish the scene without getting too much psychological impact, since the angle is not really one that we're familiar with from a human vantage point. Dutch angles are slightly tilted, and they can give a very disorienting feeling. So how do each of these relate to you, the non-scripted storyteller, and why should you know about them? Learning and utilizing these camera angles make your films more compelling and impactful because what your audience feels matches how you shot and edited your film. The emotion is heightened. Next, I'm going to give you some examples of how I use camera angles in a wedding or family film. But before I do that, hit the like button if this video has been helpful so far. And in the comments below, let me know if you've ever noticed camera angles in movies or TV. Let's start by reviewing the elements of storytelling that we discussed in the second video of this series. They are character, setting, plot, conflict, and theme. Head over to video 2 for detailed explanations of each. High and low angle shots are both going to help give your audience context into the subject or the character and their role in the story. These shots might also be helpful when the conflict reveals itself to give tension. As a family filmmaker, I would use a high angle if a child is having a tearful moment or if they're snuggling with a parent to show that vulnerability. At a wedding, I would use a high angle when the bride is reading a note from her groom and she is tearing up. A low angle used to convey power might be used in a family film once a toddler has successfully put on their shirt and they are beaming with pride. At a wedding, I might use a low angle when getting clips of the groom tightening his tie or the bride fastening her veil. Eye level is a great way to simply show what's happening within the scene without conveying too much of a particular emotion. In a family film, when the family is making pancakes, I would use eye level to show the family working together, to mix the batter, to pour the pancakes. And in a wedding film, I might use eye level when the couple is reading vows or exchanging rings. Both examples help move along the plot and tell the setting. Point of view is great for when a subject is writing, reading, or viewing something and you want to clue your audience in to what that thing is. In this film, I would start by showing the girls coloring, then cut to a shot from their point of view of their masterpiece. An example from a wedding might be when a best man and groom are looking at directions for tying a tie on a phone. Point of view shots can help reveal character, setting, and plot, as well as theme. Bird's eye is an excellent way to give the audience context into a scene or a setting. I'll use the coloring example again. I can see the table, colors, paper, and what's available to the girls to help them with their pictures. I might use bird's eye in the getting ready room of a wedding when the ladies are putting on their makeup and chatting. I get to see the space that they are in, as well as the details surrounding them. It'll help establish the setting, as I then cut to more close-up shots. As a family or wedding filmmaker, I personally do not use Dutch angles. I'm going for a meaningful day in the life that is full of lovely moments and emotions, and I would not want my viewer to feel disoriented by having a tilted angle. Dutch angles, however, could give conflict and extra unease should my film have a central conflict. I know what you're thinking, Jen, this is so much. I need to know the elements of story, use techniques and sequencing, and now I need to worry about the angle of my camera? That's overwhelming. Yes, especially if you are just starting out, this can seem like a lot. My suggestion would be to start by controlling the one thing that you can until you've got that down. If you're brand new to video and you're working on getting focus and nailing exposure, by all means, put your mental focus toward that, and when you've got that down, you can move on to other things. Eventually, you'll have all that down, and you'll be able to put more brain power toward thinking about how you'll shoot the clips that can be edited into an effective story. Next time you're filming a family or wedding, pay attention to your scene and see if you can use camera angles to help convey the emotion. Before you go, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and in the comments below, let me know if you have any questions. I will see you in the next video.